Welcome, everyone. Sorry for the delay. Welcome back to the second session of Over the Kailjaw Peaks. I'll be your lovely host for the evening with our lovely little crew of misfits over to my left, right on your screen, whatever. It's not my right, but it's fine. So, before we get started today, let's go through our normal spiel of whatever nonsense we have available to us. Thank you for everyone who came out yesterday and hung out with us. We've got Dungeon Brawl tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same shitty place. Saturday, you get to see me DMing a bunch of these idiots, including Kelly, and I know Wheeler's playing. I don't believe any of the three of you are in, so.
Not this.
But you get to see me and Kelly, and that's really all you need, right? All right. We do have Back in Stylus on Sunday. We have the next iteration of Mind's Game on Tuesday. We have, of course, this every Friday, and we will not have Dungeon Brawl next Saturday because, every other week, that's how it works. Show up tomorrow, don't show up next Saturday. I'll be building a desk, I'm pretty sure. Unless you want me to stream that, which I don't think anyone here wants me to do.
Yes. Stream it.
Yes, we want.
Dad doing woodworking.
Actually, look for that one screw that's going to be lost.
There's
a lot of people that might need a little bit of guidance in construction of furniture.
Just set up my laptop in my garage and just be like, all right, plug your ears because I'm about to turn on this very loud saw. All right. I think that is all we really have in terms of announcements. We don't really have anything special going on besides, we hit 100 subscribers. So thank you. Or not subscribers, followers. 100 subscribers would be fantastic too, but not quite there yet.
One day.
But thank you for everyone who is following. If you want to follow, that's pretty cool. It helps support us, helps get us a little bit more well-known and put out cool content for everyone. If you want to subscribe, if you have the money, feel free to do so. It's $5 and it goes to us just making this channel better because we don't pay ourselves. We're just here, hanging out, volunteering. I think that's it. I don't know. Kelly, keep me on track.
I don't remember anything else. And apparently I'm the one that remembers things, which is wild.
Hey.
This is why when you got concussed, it was a problem. That's damage.
On our social. We got the Twitters, we got the Instagrams, we got the Discord, and we do have a TikTok. The TikTok.
Yes, which I still need to add to that command for some reason or another because I'm forgetful.
That's okay.
It's somewhere.
We all have goldfish brain, so it's cool.
Yeah. I was going to say, when Kelly got concussed, it was a real big problem because there's 2 brain cells and one of them was then injured. We each have one. Together, we rub the brain cells together, we produce content. The problem was we injured one of the brain cells, so that we can't rub them together and produce stuff.
No.
Alright. Despite all the chaos, let's get started. Which, I don't have a fun transition.
What I did.
We need a title thing.
Things aren't real.
I'm gonna go on Fiverr and just have someone make a video randomly for us to play as a title screen. Brains aren't real. That is 100% true. Alright. Well, let's talk about where we last left off. On our last session, you all began your journeys and your various goals in passing through the small town of Splitmoral in the Auburn Coalition. After a relatively simple and smooth wake-up, though different from what you all normally expect, given that you have new companions with yourselves, you all had an uneventful morning until a local butler for the royals of the area, the nobles of, Mortimer Hansen. Mortimer Hansen showed up to the tavern you were all eating breakfast at, and put out an announcement saying that the local lord, Augustus Ehrenhart, wanted to host a ball with anyone of interest. Local nobles, foreigners, criminals, heroes, adventurers, whoever he could find that has an interesting story. And being a relatively keen old man, he picked out very quickly that there was at least some interesting people in the crowd, approaching our lovely Ayana and offering an invitation to her and then thereafter to Eloda for this ball in the evening. Accepting and being accompanied by your individual compatriots, you all made preparations, Lo going out to see certain contacts of hers in the small town, and thereafter you all essentially just going shopping for a bit, getting to know each other, since you are now seemingly an unexpected little party. And after a bit of shopping and a bit of drinking, just to, get loosened up for the next evening, you all began to make your way up to the estate of the Ehrenharts. After being let in and running into some interesting individuals, including a small group of pirates who have caught your attention, you all began enjoying the festivities, partaking in the food and the drink of local spice meads, rums, fish, meat, vegetables, and some of you taking in some of the local sights of the Ehrenhart estate, including the hedge maze off to the side. You were all beckoned in for the main event of the evening, of which you found yourselves in a large ballroom surrounded by statues and artwork and artifacts of all sorts. And the host of the evening, Augustus Ehrenhart himself, appeared on a balcony, welcoming you all to the event and saying he has potentially the first, if not the most interesting, story to tell. Upon which he threw his arms back, said, "Let the games begin," and was pierced by a flaming arrow, bursting into flames in a flash and disappearing. And as you all stand here in shock and awe of what just happened in front of your faces, the room itself begins to shift. The torches on the wall and the sconces begin flashing with different vibrant colors rather than just the orange flames that they had prior. The statues almost begin to seem to shift and change around you. Some of them, their faces contorting, shifting from normal human faces or elven faces to these fanged and gnarled creatures. Some, their faces just kind of twisting and changing in weird, almost Dada-type ways. But everything around you begins shifting, and as this all happens, the crowd around you bursts into various forms of cacophony and disarray. Some drawing weapons, some looking around, a few screams break out across the crowd around you. And the doors seem to all have been shut. You hear some people slamming into them and one throwing them open, and people begin pouring out the front. Some begin hiding in various corners or under stairwells or trying to run for the various rooms around you. So, amidst all this chaos, what would you like to do?
Garen is immediately going to, draw his weapon and shield and kind of position himself in a protective stance around Ayana, especially. And I guess he's just gonna, scan the room.
Alright, make a perception check.
Alrighty then.
Can I have my mace?
Yes, he will, in that process, hand you your mace.
Alright, we've got a cupcake with a mace.
What's she gonna do? Crimes.
Crimes.
Perception. That's an 18 perception.
18. The room is in utter chaos. People of various sorts. You see some of the more hardy folk are drawing weapons and beginning to prepare for what may happen given someone who was just shot with an arrow. You do see the group of pirates who, Eloda, you are alongside with Lo. As soon as this happens, Izir, the tiefling, just looks around and is like, well, this got very interesting very quickly. And you see him draw the scimitar at his hip. And his compatriots, Malak and Brisley, both begin drawing their weapons. Malak pulling a large club, an axe, with kind of like an axe head on it, off of his back. And Brisley drawing the small flintlock pistol at his hip and a small dagger off of his belt. You see some people have gone further into the mansion. Kind of some people who are more aware of the situation are trying to seek shelter deeper in, but most of the crowd is kind of filtering out the front door and running.
Okay, he's gonna shout out to Eloda and Lo that he sees.
I'd like to be making my way towards the body, if I may be so bold, or at least where I presume it is.
Okay, so you're heading up the stairwell?
I'm heading up the stairs.
Okay.
Can I try to clock where the other people are, where Garen and Ayana are while I go, or no?
Yeah, make a perception check.
Not great, but I think I'm proficient. Perception. That's a 13.
13. It's tough. There's a lot of chaos going on, and with you moving through a crowd, it's very tough to see. Garen, however, you do see kind of splitting the ocean a little bit is the small form of Lo, who's currently worming through the outgoing crowd.
And I saw the pirates, and that's where Eloda was, right? So
yeah, it's hard to miss the 8-foot tall half ogre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna let Eloda know where I'm going as I go. I'm like, I'm heading towards shoot where it happened.
yeah.
I have a question. I have a clarifying question.
Sure.
When they're drawing their weapons, do I have a feeling they're drawing them at me? Or am I...
No, they are fully like, they are not even looking at you. They are
Okay.
It's more of a preemptive, like, in case someone decides to pull some shit, we're going to have our weapons out.
All right. Good to know.
No, you're now hostage. Congratulations.
No, I was just wondering, I'm like, I also have a sword.
Garen's
Alright.
probably going to turn to Ayana and say, I see them moving more inward, which I'm assuming is the same direction that Lo's going.
Yes, Lo is going inward towards kind of, the front ballroom is basically this large rectangle with a door on one side and kind of a split curving stairwell leading up to a balcony on the other side.
Okay,
There are
so,
a few rooms on the sides, like doors and hallways, but Lo is heading directly forward.
Yeah, he's going to call back to Ayana, say, we're going to move forward, stick with me. And he's going to shout in the direction of the pirates to just, and say, like, Eloda, like, move forward.
All right. A little
As
nod
he
as
moves,
she'll draw her sword and go forward.
As he moves, there's still a big crowd, right?
Yeah, there are people kind of pouring forward. You guys weren't that far in yet, because these are people that had entered earlier.
I'm gonna hold on to his sleeve.
Yeah, if anybody gets too close to Garen, he's probably going to shield check him, too.
Oh yeah, there are...
I get a shield checked.
Not Ayana. Not Ayana. He's not going to shield check the bead. It's like, oh,
No. There are several people who kind of rush past you and kind of bump into you. It's complete chaos as they're all kind of rushing out the door.
okay.
Does
Yep.
it seem like anyone's being attacked yet? Is there any, like, signs of violence past people freaking the fuck out and running away?
No. I think
No?
you think people are just running away because someone got shot. Kind of one of those crowd moments of someone pulled a gun and fired it once, and even if it doesn't hit anyone, everyone else bolts.
But it did hit someone.
In this case, yes,
Is there any,
it did hit someone.
Dadaist hellscapes happening, or is that like just like we think it's all happening in our heads kind of thing.
So what you can see around you as you kind of glance through the crowd and the various things that are going around, the statues and the artifacts and the paintings and kind of the shapes around you are shifting subtly. They're not like completely disforming. The world's not melting into a Salvador Dali painting, but things are starting to contort and start looking very odd. Pictures of humans are being replaced by devils. Pictures of animals are being replaced by foods. Things are shifting color randomly.
Okay. And specifically the artifacts and the art. Okay.
Yeah, and the room itself is kind of changing color a little bit. Things are just kind of changing shape. You see some vines, some grass protruding from the floor.
Alright, I'm assuming we'll converge at low.
Yes, Lo, you make it there
And I'm
first.
assuming, yeah, with that
Yeah, you are.
bonus action dash.
Yes, you are the fastest in the group, the smallest in the group, and very good at navigating crowds. Oh, you're not the smallest.
Ayana's the smallest.
Garen is just like,
In terms of lithe, like
Yeah.
litheness, you are small. So
I'm
it's-
sure if Lo looks back, you'll see like bodies just flying up in the air, and that's the path that Garen is taking.
Yes. While Lo is kind of weaving in and out of people, Garrett is just parting the sea and heading forward.
Eloda's trying to go for an in-between route where she's like, I'm trying to be polite, but also get out of my way, please.
Yeah.
Are the pirates sticking with Eloda?
No, the pirates, if you look back, they have, after Eloda broke away from them, they kind of just wandered outside to see what's going on. So, as you make your way up towards the balcony, what you're immediately confronted with, since most of the people aren't, wasting their effort going up a stairwell, there's not really anyone up here except for a young woman with reddish brown hair and kind of a green, like large emerald green dress. And she's just kind of like sitting there on her knees. It's near the spot where Augustus stood. And what you currently see is just a pile of ash.
Huh. Okay. And like, from now that I'm up top, can I see where I think the arrow came from?
Make a perception check.
It's not bad. Plus, still learning this character. That's a 17.
A 17. You recall roughly where you saw the trajectory of the arrow coming from, and you look out into the ballroom from that space. And it seems like it came from nowhere. You can't see a single spot that would logically someone with a bow and arrow or a crossbow could go. It is also worth noting that you don't see the arrow anywhere.
Is the young woman, is she like visibly distressed? Is she crying or freaking out?
Yeah, so as you guys were all kind of pushing your way up there, Lo having made her way first, the woman is kind of like, she's sitting there, she's not crying, but she seems extremely distressed.
Okay.
I'm not gonna approach. I'm just gonna wait. See if anything else happens.
All right.
If nobody's approaching her, Garen will kind of like approach her and be like, it's like, what's going on?
If you think I knew, do you think I would be here right now? She just kind of looks up at you, and she looks very like a combination of pissed off and upset.
Are you okay? Are you hurt at all?
No, I'm fine. My pa here is gone though, and this doesn't make any sense.
So this is not some rich person ruse.
What kind of Falcon ruse do you think this will be?
I don't know. He said, "Let the games begin."
my pa's an eccentric man, but he's not suicidal.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
Do you have any idea what he might have meant as let the games begin?
No, if I had any fucking clue, I wouldn't be sitting here on my ass.
But I was just wondering did he bring anything up before this night of any, even vaguely, anything he might have mentioned?
No, he didn't even let me help out with organizing the event. It was just him and...
Who did?
Well, it was just him and Mortimer.
Have you seen Mortimer around in the past?
No, but he's normally helping out and tending to the guests. He doesn't really bother me too much.
Alright.
I'm gonna insight her to see if she's potentially hiding or lying.
Go for it.
He's just like, he's not trusting this.
May I don't want to be disrespectful. May I take a look at his ashes, see if there's any clues that might better indicate?
Sure, they're not his. Can't be. There's no way.
There's 19 on the inside.
I see weirder.
She is being entirely honest.
If you don't think it's his ashes, then what do you think it is?
I don't right know what it is, right? But there's no way that it's my father's ashes. He's not like this. He's not suicidal. Man, he tries to live more than anyone else.
Maybe he's like a phoenix, and he'll rise from the ashes. Can I make like an investigation check, or like as I'm looking closer, or?
Yeah. Make an investigation check.
Ooh. I like it when my quick clacks do a good number. Investigation. That's a 21.
21.
Ooh.
All right. They are really fine white ashes, like not like heavy wooden ones, but just really like smooth, dusty. There's nothing in them at all. No metal, no bone, no cloth, no nothing. Just straight up ash.
Go ahead.
I was just wondering if I could, I don't know, make an Arcana check to see if I could think of like specific spells or rituals that could lead to such a thing happening or appearance of something.
Sure. Roll for Arcana.
Yeah, and at that same time, I'm going to use Divine Sense for Detect Good and Evil.
Okay. What's the range on that? It's 30 feet?
60 feet.
60 feet.
That was 18 for Arcana.
18. Okay, so with the Arcana check, there is nothing specific comes to mind. It's not like this is a very distinct situation. Though it is possible via magic to perform such an illusion. It is possible for him to have just teleported away. There's an unlimited number of ways that this could go about. And from the ashes in front of you, you can't really discern too much.
Can I stick my pinky in it and taste the ashes?
One thing at a time.
Sorry.
Alright, so Detect Good and Evil. I would say you notice a presence of Feywild magic around you. Kind of this whole space at this point is just kind of reeking of it.
So this is the space that we're currently in, or the entirety of the...
Everything that you can... The entire space that you can sense with your 60 feet.
Okay.
So Lo, you want to taste the ashes?
Yes. Can I do it subtly though?
Yeah, roll a sleight of hand check.
This woman who thinks that this may or may not be her dad's ashes to notice. That's a think. Hold on, sorry. Sleight of hand. That is a 21.
All right. You very subtly stick your finger in the ashes and just kind of like quickly bring it to your lips. They taste like ashes, and they are vaguely sweet,
Vaguely sweet?
like sugary almost.
Like,
So-
interesting.
Garen's gonna be just kind of looking around kind of rapidly, trying to see if there's any sort of, like, I guess, glitch in the system. You know, like, if this is an illusion, or if there is any sort, like, if he can tell something off.
Make an investigation check.
I wanted to see if I could make a perception check and see if I can find any, like, if I see any danger, any more danger around us.
Sure, make a perception check.
Okay.
That is a 21 on investigation.
21. It's hard to it's very subtle, but you've been around a long time. You've dealt with some of this kind of stuff before in this level of magic. It is very much a broad illusion all around you. Like, the whole space is just kind of subtle shimmering. You can see just beyond it there is an illusion. All the changes that are happening aren't real.
All of this is an illusion. He's
I mean, I touched the ashes and they felt ashy. I
No.
don't know if illusion magic works that way, does it?
when it comes to certain types of magic, it can make you believe anything if you're not keen enough. And I have certain senses, and this is definitely
I have a
Fey
certain
magic.
set of skills acquired over
Yes.
a long lifetime.
Lowe's
Got a
vaguely
22.
offended.
Ayana had a 22.
I got a 22.
22. Besides the leftover people who are, most of them have left at this point. There's not really anyone in the space too much. You do hear distant footsteps kind of rushing towards you down the hallway beyond this space, like this balcony essentially, further into the manor. But other than that, you
Coming
don't hear
towards
anything
us?
else. Yeah.
Do I see who's coming towards us?
So if you look down the hallway, you see a reddish brown haired young man with his hair kind of clean, close cropped, in a greenish suit. This is the same man you actually saw earlier. This woman is the same woman you guys saw earlier at the hedge maze. This is the same man she was talking to.
Oh no, I'm gonna look at dead dad.
Until there's something completely wrong with this. This is like, we need to see if we can escape this illusion.
We should try to find Mortimer. He might have answers.
Because this entire area is Fey magic.
Ooh, that's tasty.
The woman kind of looks over to you. It's like, it's all what now?
This entire area, everything around us, is magic. It's an illusion. Nothing is real. For a lot of all these changes, these things, what's happening, it's not real.
Well, what could have
So
caused?
it's very
what could
likely-
cause-
It's very likely that your father is still alive.
Well, you don't have to tell me twice on that one. And at this point, the man kind of rushes up and kind of skids to a stop almost on the carpet. I can't find him anywhere. I don't know. I've looked up and down the hallways. I've looked in his room. I've looked in the kitchen. I've looked everywhere I could find. He's not in the library. Not in nothing. And the woman looks over at him. All right, well, I don't know what to do. You're all adventurers. You know what this is a bit more like. What do we do?
We should get you somewhere safe first.
I ain't going anywhere until I find my father.
I mean, if you know any safe places within the manor.
She kind of like looks around at this whole space and just, do you think that's something that's going to affect this whole manor that's not going to be safe anywhere in here?
Do you have any escape routes, secret passages, rooms, anything of that?
Well, there's the tunnels underneath the manor.
That sounds like it could be something.
Yeah, they don't really go anywhere. They kind of just go out to the hill on the side and to all the buildings to help, flooding and transporting stuff in the weather.
If this was some form of attack to kidnap your father or infiltrate, that would be the most likely place.
Alright. Here, I can take you there.
Do you know, one of you try to track down Mortimer? He might know more about what's going on here as well.
Well, I tried to look for him. I can't find him anywhere.
Shit.
Haven't seen Dad and haven't seen Mortimer. Haven't even seen Janice. She's normally wandering around trying to mingle in this event.
Who's that?
Who's Janice?
Janice is a gardener. She's a small one, a little blonde halfling. She's been with us for a very long time. Her family's been with us for a very long time. So she's a little bit closer to us than the rest of the servants.
I'm gonna go peek outside really quickly, see how everyone who ran outside is doing.
I don't know if we have the time to worry about others.
I am lickety split fast, and I dash. Bonus action dash.
Alright, fine. And he points to the sun. He's like, you wait here for her, we're gonna go on ahead. And he's gonna also relay that. It's like, just meet us.
Wait, but why not I just go with you? If you're all going down the tunnels, Liza here is not exactly it's not like she's gonna know the best way out and be able to help defend all of you.
Yes, we need our friend to catch up with us.
Alright. He just kind of leans against the railing. Lo, you make it there in 6 seconds flat. Because using a whole round worth of movement for that, it is not 120 feet, or it's about 120 feet across, and you've cleared it in 1 round.
Okay, I peek outside.
Alright, make a perception check really quickly. See since it's a big area.
I think I have +4. It's a 16.
16. Okay. Looking immediately outside, you see some of the tables people have accidentally knocked over tables, rushing away. The fountain with the spiced mead in it is just completely tipped over on its side and cracked. You see some people kind of hanging out, they've kind of taken up post out here to try and defend, find a defendable position. And you can hear in the distance, past the inner wall of the gate, you hear a lot of ruckus. It seems like most of the crowd is out there.
Does it sound like fighting?
It sounds like a lot of people, like a mob of people in a panic.
Does it sound like they're just all running away?
It sounds like they're not running away. It sounds like they're stuck in one spot. And you do notice as
Does it sound like they're Oh, go ahead, sorry.
As you look around and you're kind of taking in the surroundings, you do notice the sky has now shifted to kind of an odd, effervescent coloring, kind of almost a very faint aurora borealis in ways of just colors streaming through the night sky.
Does it seem almost like there is a shield blocking everyone inside?
Make a investigation check.
Okay. Ugh. Ba, 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 ba. Investigation. That's a 16.
16. You're not super certain. It's very hard to see from this distance whether or not like it's a dome of some form or if it's just the sky is very colorful right now.
Okay. I run back up. I've been gone a total of 30 seconds.
So I guess we just meet her down at the bottom of the stairs.
Hello. I told you that I would be right back. I don't know why you don't listen to me. Anyways, so it seems like everyone's freaking out at the gate, which isn't fun. And there seems to be something happening in the sky.
Fireworks?
No.
No.
It sounds like it is best if we get going to the tunnels then.
Yes, because it seems the magic must be affecting more than just this room.
Well, let's hope that we don't run into anything downstairs. And Liza, the woman, starts walking and leading you guys down a hallway. And after you see the hallways themselves have also begun shifting. Some of the walls show discordant patterns, tree branches growing over them, roots kind of sprouting out of the floor. One of the hallways, as you kind of go along, starts twisting a little bit, kind of rocking back and forth. Not constant movement, but like as you go, it's just kind of the floor goes this way for a bit, the floor grows that way for a bit, and just kind of rocks back and forth. And you do hear lots of odd noises as you get deeper into the manor. Sound of dogs barking, the sound of a brook, faint discordant music playing in the distance, the sound of what seems to be birds but almost underwater.
Could I like, I know like I determined it's Fey magic and I'm familiar, but like, is there a specific type, or if like maybe a specific type of Fey or deity or source that would cause this specific type of illusion or like stuff like that?
Make a Arcana check.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
A 20.
22 total.
You are not aware of anything specific. The knowledge of the Feywild and the Fey realms for most people is very, very limited, and most scholars don't even have a very solid understanding of it. People who have met true Fey are few and far between. So you're not super. You know the general legends and signs of it, but not anything specific.
Are the tunnels fully lit?
Yeah. So, or you're not at the tunnels yet. You are just in the manor still, like the main body of the manor. Liza is taking you through various hallways and kind of leading towards the nearest entrance into the tunnels.
Are we seeing other people as we're passing, or
No,
like the people
not a
that move
single
forward? So even the people that move forward, there's nobody.
You have not seen a single soul since everyone's booked it.
They're all dead.
That's strange. I swore I saw people moving forward deeper into the manor.
Well, it's a bigger place. Maybe they're just hiding.
I don't know. I don't I don't like this.
Well, no, neither do I. But we got to keep going.
Yes.
Did you see them moving deeper in the manor after everything happened?
Yes. There's most of the people ran outside to escape, but there were some that moved further into the manor deeper when everything started happening. But I don't see anybody.
Did they look shady? Like they were they were doing something weird.
I think they were just trying to find a place to hide or escape as well, away from the stampede.
You guys eventually see Liza open a door into what seems to be a kitchen. Like a fairly large one. What you'd probably expect at a more upscale restaurant. Alright, there's a stairwell to the tunnels off into the back of the room. You'll probably need a key to unlock it. She heads towards the back corner. What are you saying, Kelly?
I was just going to say I could probably take care of it. You don't have to look for it.
Don't worry, I'm not that incompetent. And she pulls out like a small set of keys out of a pocket, you assume, on her dress. Very odd that her dress has pockets.
Lucky.
Yes, Ayana's dress does not have any form of pocket.
The worst.
But relatively quickly, she finds the right key and kind of turns the lock, unlatching the door and swinging it open. And you just see a dark, kind of not very well lit, but there's a few oil lanterns dotted along the wall. And it just leads down into a stone-covered tunnel. Alright. Which one of you wants to go first?
I will.
After you, big fella.
Kind of look like he's only like 5'10", so.
She's not a very like large woman. She's probably like 5'3".
Okay. Also, as he's walking, he's like, also, I don't think we ever got your names.
Oh, my name is just Liza. And the brother, who's been kind of quiet throughout this whole thing, looks at all of you. And I am Damien.
I'm Ayana. Sorry.
Nice to meet you.
Iloda, and I wish we met under better circumstances.
Well, can't do much about that now.
Listen, I am Garen, and we will do everything we can to find your father.
All right, lovely. Now that we've dispensed the pleasantries, can we keep going?
I assume this was moving too, but yeah.
Walking and talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fully expected Ayana just to stop dead center and just be like, "What's your name?"
Also, I'm gonna. I want handshake. Give me. I'm gonna be right after Garen.
All right.
Iloda will. Actually, it'll just follow Ayana.
Lo is going to take up the rear and is very annoyed that she's not getting to be in the front stealthing. But she's just going to take the back.
Push us out of the way.
No, it's fine. She'll just hop in the back the whole time.
All right.
Iloda will like half turn back and be like, "Is something wrong?"
Nothing.
All right. So you all begin making your way through this tunnel, and it's relatively narrow, probably about 6 feet wide at its widest, and not too tall. Iloda, you're probably only a good like 7 inches clearance between your head and the ceiling. So as you all begin making your way through there, are you proceeding stealthily, or are you just kind of barreling forward?
I would say Garen would be more cautious, so probably stealthily.
Okay, so roll stealth checks, everyone.
That is a 15.
And a 19.
30-20.
All right.
That's a 5.
Brilliance.
You're not armor.
No,
So you all begin slowly and carefully making your way through the underground tunnels. As you proceed, the oil lanterns kind of dot every about 20 feet or so, just providing enough light to kind of not stub your toe and not trip over anything, which becomes more difficult as you go along, and slowly it seems like roots are overgrowing into the tiles and the stone bricks, and even some of them coming through the tops of the walls themselves up towards the ceiling, with little flowers just sprouting out of them that give off this faint colorful glow.
I'm gonna look at the flowers while I walk.
All right.
The reason you rolled a 5? Distracted by flowers.
Yeah.
Okay,
Only
so-
thing I'm paying attention to. Also, occasionally I'm gonna try to jump up and grab one, but I'm not that tall, so it's not gonna happen. But
Oh yeah, you reach up, you go for it, and it's just kind of
just tiny hops.
gets like this far off the ground.
Yeah. No.
Canalota, seeing this right behind her, will like just go and pick one up and like give it to her.
Okay.
Pluck one, assuming I can pluck them delicately.
Are you gonna try?
Yes, I
You-
would like to try.
Do you reach out and touch the flowers?
Yes.
All right. You reach forward, grab, and just encompass the stem of one in your fingertips, and you pull it off.
Okay. I hand it to Ayana.
All right.
Thank you.
It's a
Now,
small.
you must keep going.
It's a small, almost like a lily. It's kind of this shimmery.
Does it look like this other places?
No, it's a shimmery kind of red, almost pearlescent petals, and it gives off this faint,
pretty.
like pink glow.
I'm gonna put it in my hair with all my pink flowers.
Okay.
Hair flowers.
It's interesting.
So-
It smells like cinnamon.
A flower?
Yeah, it
Are
smells
we
like
in a
cinnamon and
different house?
amber.
It's spicy. Like the mead.
Do we hear any more like noises? Like, is it getting noisier? Is it getting more active the further deep we get into the tunnel, or?
You
is it-
still hear some odd occasional noises. Things like the sound of a babbling brook, a few birds, wind whistling through some wood chimes.
But no, like the activity hasn't gotten stronger or weaker as we're progressing.
It's just as chaotic and just as random as it was prior.
Question.
Yes.
It's nighttime right now, right?
Yeah.
And we hear birds chirping like the daytime.
You hear birds chirping.
Technically, there are birds that chirp at night specifically.
But are these the daytime birds?
Make a nature check and find out.
Listen. The only birds I hear at night are just owls. Okay.
You occasionally hear a hoo of an owl. Just, hoo.
Okay. It's right time.
I mean, I think the more concerning part is we're underground in a tunnel and we hear wind chimes and birds in a brook. When we're underground in a tunnel.
Listen, I don't question that. I just question birds.
Liza looks at all you, just like, yeah, it's a bit discordant to be listening to the sound of nature in this tunnel that's 20 feet underground.
That's why I'm saying this is Fey magic.
Congratulations on your deductive reasoning.
Question for you, Liza. Your father, did he? I know he was a collector of things. Did he recently bring anything in he was particularly excited about, or it was remarkably odd, or anything like that? That's where my mind automatically goes, is something strange.
But he's always buying things, so it's not really that he hasn't bought anything too particularly stellar that he's like, oh yes, I have to show this off and showcase this. If he did, it'd probably be smack dab in the center of the ballroom floor.
I know he bought things. Did he dabble in magic at all, or was it just collecting?
He likes to think he's a mage of some sort or a scholar. Yeah, he's just kind of a collector, an eclectic old man who's read a lot of books in his time.
Good to know. Thank you.
And how's your relationship with your father?
Perfectly fine. Why?
Insight check. No one has a good relationship with your father.
Just
Sorry. 22 insight check on the
22.
relationship
Of course,
with your father being
bro.
perfectly
She's
fine.
being honest and is kind of offended.
I didn't say that. I didn't say
I know
that.
she's
out loud
offended. She's
here.
offended at Karen's implication.
Okay.
It was only a question to not everybody
You
has.
haven't noticed any strange behavior in the past week or so.
Not really. He's been busy preparing for this whole festival deal, but nothing that out of the ordinary. He's a little how do you say, come and go. Sometimes he's fixated on a book for a week, and sometimes he just kind of wanders around playing a lute.
And how about between brother and sister? I couldn't help but notice earlier you two were in a bit of a disagreement.
Well, that I don't think is any of your business.
No, but it could be relevant to events happening.
She kind of just looks at you frustrated, and you notice that Damien's just not saying anything.
And he looks at Damien and he's just like, well,
Eliza pipes up. If you have to know, we're just talking about what's going to happen after our father dies, because he hasn't written a will recently.
so he's
Man.
recently wrote his will?
No, he hasn't, and he's fucking 86.
Does he have an old one?
No, he hasn't written a will. He doesn't think he's going to die anytime soon, despite us insisting that he doesn't need to die soon for him to write a will just to be safe.
And are you afraid that you're not going to get your share of his fortune?
No, we're just arguing over how to get him to actually write a fucking will.
And he looks at Damien. Is that your concern?
He just kind of looks at you, and he was kind of just quiet and kind of leading his sister to talk through it all. But as you kind of question him, he looks up and starts getting a little, his eyebrows furrow a little bit. Yeah, that's all we're trying to figure out. I don't want to
check on him.
Let me finish talking, please.
Sorry.
I don't want to pressure him, but Liza insists that we have to do something soon. So now you may make an insight check if you're really that curious.
I understand.
I do not insight anything because I rolled a 1.
You are caught off guard by how tense his tone is. I don't know.
You also are staring at the flower. Too.
Ayana was like, flower! And he's like, what? Ah.
Shit.
I understand wanting to have affairs in order. Things can happen quite suddenly, and then you're left scrambling. And that's not good. That's not healthy for someone grieving. So I can see why you'd want to get it done sooner rather than later.
Well, given our mother died recently, not gonna try and sit around and let him keel over without doing anything.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Was it of natural causes?
Yes, if you must know.
I'm just trying to piece this together of why this is happening. If her death was unusual, then it could be related.
Alright, perfectly fine. If we can... Once we find my father, we can probably tell you all that you need to know. And she's
I
kind
have
of,
a
you can tell that
question.
she's getting
Okay.
visibly more and more tense with each time you, like, every question you're prying into.
Iona?
You guys seem upset. Would you guys either like a hug or a flower?
Liza looks at you and is kind of like, her expression softens a little bit. No, love, don't worry about it. We're just a little upset with all that's going on.
Understandable, but if you change your mind, I can make a flower crown really quickly.
Alright, we can do that
I've
after.
been told I make. Sorry, I've been told I give really good hugs too.
Alright, I'll take you up on it afterwards, okay?
There'll be a rain check.
She just kind of like chuckles a little bit and looks and is like, after you all.
Go soldier on.
Right on out.
Alright. As you guys continue through this hallway, you do hear eventually just the sound of dink, 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 dink. It grows slightly louder as you go down the hallway.
You want me to go forward and go check it out?
If you think you could
I think
get
that
there
would
without
be...
being spotted.
I just gesture to my whole being and start walking forward. That's a hold on, +8.
I mean, you're already stealthing, so.
Oh, I mean, I just rolled it again because I figured since I was broken off from the group. But if you want me to keep the old stealth check, that's fine.
Yeah, you can keep it. No need to roll too
Well,
many extra
this one
dice.
was better, so
Too bad.
it's fine.
Alright. You break forward and you start kind of pushing forward a bit faster, since without the group you can move a little bit quieter and a little bit quicker. And eventually you see about 100 feet down the hall, it comes to kind of a subtle or a sharp end with a heavy iron door at the front. And as you get closer, you just hear the sound. Tink, 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 tink.
Do I see the cause of the dinking?
It seems to be coming from beyond the door.
Opposite side. Alright, I'm gonna return to the party and report what I saw. Seems as though the dink noises are on the other side of an iron door. Are you familiar with one of those, Liza, Damien? Is there one of those down here, or is this new?
I don't remember there being a door down here.
It's new? Oh, this is fun.
Yeah, I don't remember anything like that.
Alright. This is getting even more and more interesting.
I love doors. And then I start walking back towards the door. I just am scooting along.
All
Yeah,
right.
Garen,
Oh, we check if it's locked before we try and lockpick it.
moving
Gesturing. I go like a
Before
fox.
you put in the effort of lockpicking it, check to see if...
and Garen's also going to cast Silent Image,
Okay.
and he's going to make it look like Low, but have it just a few feet in front of Low, and move as we go forward towards the door.
Lo's freaking out and thinks that this is a new fun thing she can do. And she's
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck?
Just apparating from this kind of like shadowy mist, you see your own kind of form mirroring your moves as you walk ahead.
Wave at myself. I'm like, hello.
It waves back.
Shit. Oh, I'm so cool. I keep on going.
Do a little dance.
All right. So as you approach the door, and it's fairly dark in here, you have night vision or dark vision, so it's a little bit easier to see. But I think everyone has it except for Ayana and
course,
the
it's
two
Ayana.
humans in the party. But as you get closer, you realize the door doesn't have a handle.
My greatest enemies. Does it look like there's any other opening mechanism? Is there anything etched on the door?
Make an investigation check.
May I also investigate the door?
Oh,
You can either
hell
investigate
yeah.
yourself or help Lo, and give her advantage.
I would suggest doing your own. Because I got a 24.
Yes.
I rolled a 19 on the die.
Yes. Just as a note, remember, if try and decide this before you announce what you're rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm just like, well, you sound like you got it.
Sorry.
All right. So 24. It is a very, very rusty door. And as you get closer, it doesn't, that kind of smell of just like old iron. It doesn't smell like iron. It smells like burnt wood. And as you kind of get forward and put your kind of like tap it, it doesn't feel like iron. It feels like wood. And you start to realize this is just kind of an illusory cover to make it seem like it blends in with the environment.
I'm gonna do a little feel and see if there is a handle.
All right. You do not feel a handle. There is a small window in it, and you just see a figure kind of dangling from a chain like a pendulum by their ankles. You see them swinging, dink, dink, and the chain just hitting a wall, dink, dink.
Can I make out any features?
Given how dark it is in the room, you can't really see any colors or anything like that. There is a bag over their head, and for the most part, they're just kind of like wrapped up in ropes, and it's very hard to tell what they're wearing.
There's a hanged man in there.
Oh,
Like the tarot card. No, like.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
shall we just try and push it then?
You can try just forcing the door open.
There's no
I
handle.
can burn it down.
It feels like wood. You could burn it down.
But
I
I
could-
could burn it down.
I suggest we try the pushing first, in case something else catches.
Burn it down.
Smart. I am pretty flammable. That's probably not the best idea.
And we're in a very tight enclosed space.
Hmm.
I don't know if this is really part of our manor at this point, but I would prefer if you don't burn down the manor either.
Oh, sorry. didn't
Loda's
think
gonna
about
go up and try and push it a normal amount to open a door with.
All right. You go up, put a little weight behind it, doesn't budge.
Kara's gonna try pulling
On what?
What are you gonna?
the door. Like you said, there's a window, right?
Yeah. So you're reaching your hand into the window.
Is it open? Like, or is there like bars or something?
There's some like bars going down it. So you're just gonna pull on those.
Yeah.
All right. Reach your hand forward, and as you try to wrap your fingers around the bars, they just kind of. It just seems solid between the space.
So when I try to reach into the window, it's solid.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try something. Can I look through the window? Like if I go into my tippy toes?
Yeah, you have to kind of like pull yourself up over the ledge, be like,
Okay. I am gonna cast Misty Step, and I'm
Alright.
gonna Misty Step onto the other side of the door.
all right. You all see Ayana's form for a second, just, and you just smack face first into the door and fall in grass.
Garrett was he was just about to say something when that happened. He's like, I think the window's an illusion too.
All right. And so I'm taking it by this tunnel is that it, like, the tunnel leads straight through here and, like, there's just straight walls on either side?
Sorry, say that again. My brain just shut the fuck down.
So, like, the tunnel we're going down, at the end is the doorway, and it's straight walls down the side. We see no turnoffs at any point.
Yeah, this is a dead end.
Shall I try the door again?
Do it.
Alright. I'm going to try and brute force this door. If it is a door. I have another theory that it might not be a door, though.
Roll an athletics check.
As we were walking, did the tunnels branch off, or has it just been a straight tunnel this whole time?
Oddly, no. There's no branching. You just seem to have gone completely straight, taking a few turns here and there, but there was never a choice. You were always just going straight.
5.
You shoulder check that door as hard as you can, and you just hear that everyone else just hears just a gentle little tap.
Does it feel like wood?
Yeah, felt like wood. Definitely
Okay.
hurt like
That
wood
feels
too.
better than iron, though.
I say Anna says from the floor, still like in pain. I vote for burning it down now.
There might be a different option.
Can I help Ayana?
Thank you.
Turn around, let me brush off your dress. And I start brushing the dress off on the back.
He's
I
gonna,
also brush off in the front. I thought it was a smart idea.
Garrett's gonna look at the siblings. He's like, how often have you come down here? Are you very familiar with these tunnels?
Eliza looks up and answers, well, we haven't really been down here since we were kids. We don't really come down here too much, other than occasionally the servants need something checked on.
Was it always a straight path?
No, not really. Kind of terrifying.
So there's turns and divides.
Normally, yeah.
He just kind of like, I should have known. And
I'm gonna go and start touching the walls.
That's what I was going to suggest, yeah.
yeah,
All right.
I think and he's just gonna curse in Elven under his breath about this whole situation.
Which I know, Lo, you understand. I think someone else who else knows Elven in the party?
I'm trying to look and see if I know it.
I got giant goblin and orc.
Wow.
I do.
Choices. All right, so all of you but Eloda just hear Garen swearing under his breath.
That's a bad word.
As a cunning linguist, can I infer that he's swearing something by his tone?
I mean, swearing under your breath in general is a pretty universal concept. All right, so the two of you that are going down the hallway and kind of feeling the walls, make investigation checks for me, or
Finally.
one person can do it with an advantage.
I have proficiency in it. You care?
Was it investigation?
Yeah.
You do it.
Okay. You want to assist me?
Yes. What do I do?
Nothing.
DM.
Your act of assistance
I just
gives her
did.
advantage.
Okay, cool. My brain's yellow.
Aren't we all?
Couldn't remember.
Aren't we all?
That is 16.
16.
I'm really glad I had advantage.
You both kind of feel your way down the hallway and go for about 100 feet or more, and you do not feel a single give. It's all solid stone.
Interesting.
I'm gonna wait for them to get back. But I do want to just knock on the door once they get back. Just.
Alright. As you all get back and Lo knocks on the door, you just hear. And a tiny voice just coming from almost inside the door. Who calls there?
A friend.
A friend just walks through the door. Those that don't know the way must find the key.
Can you tell me where the key is? Or at least give me a hint.
What's lost might be found. If you find your way, you'll find the key.
Oh, I know nothing.
He's gonna look at Liz and Damien. Is like, why don't one of you try the door?
Liz just like shoves Damien forward. He walks forward and just does the same tap, just and the same response, just and the same voice. Who calls there?
Try
Damien.
opening it.
Damien just looks. How the fuck do you want me to open it? There's no fucking handle.
I
Hey,
don't.
please.
He's kind of like looks really confused. Can you open the door, please? And there's a response from inside the door. A friend may enter. If you don't know where the key is, you must find it to find your way through.
But you did say
Can
that.
we have a hint? Oh, sorry.
It's like you did say a friend may walk through the door. Can't we be friends?
First, you must find the key. What's lost might be found. If you find your way, you'll find the key.
So we can become friends by finding the key.
Maybe it's in the ring of keys that you have.
Liz just kind of pulls out the ring from her pocket. One small problem. She points to the door. Where do you expect me to put a key?
The window?
She goes forward, just kind of shrugs, and just walks forward one key at a time through about a dozen keys. Just pokes them, and they just hit that same barrier that Garen's hand hit earlier. Just
Did your father have any keys upstairs?
well, sure, he has a ton of keys upstairs for the manor, but
Any artifact keys? Like fun, like decorative, like big things, you know?
well, maybe. I'm not. Honestly, I don't know all the things in his collection.
I
No.
have a feeling it isn't going to be a literal key. Or if it is a literal key, it is going to be something somewhere to do with some kind of magic. Something to solve a riddle, perhaps.
Does anybody have any idea what the riddle means?
Nope.
I'm bad at riddles.
Theoretically, I should be good at them.
Same. Sorry, Shane. So what's lost may be found.
Yeah. What's lost may be
If you
found
find
if you find your way. Find your way, you find the key.
Was there something that your dad has lost recently and was looking for?
Not recently, but he lost his marbles a long time ago.
Maybe we lose that too. What if we just like straight up just go straight crazy?
If this
Well, maybe
keeps
if
up,
we
I might.
find them, then we. Oh,
Well, the most obvious thing here we've lost is track of your father. Maybe that's the riddle.
or the marbles.
Lost may be found if you find your way.
Shane, illusion-wise, do I think that the man whose whose chains are hitting the door, is that also an illusion?
So they're not hitting the door. They're just kind of like hitting. They seem to be coming through kind of a hole on the wall, and it's just kind of tink against the hole, or the hole in the roof. They just
Okay.
kind of hit the edge of the hole, and that's the sound of the tinking. You do, from your earlier inspections, while the door itself is, like, the material of the door is an illusion, the window is not. You can tell from the perspective and kind of the details of it. There's no shifting, there's no shimmering, there's no anything different and weird. It seems to be a straight hole, it's just there's something invisible blocking it.
So I think that that person behind the door is a person.
Yeah.
Cool! I'm gonna do something weird real quick. Please hold while I remember how to do things. I'm going to do Psychic Whispers.
Alright.
How many people can I do it with? Hold on, sorry.
Up to your intelligence
which one?
modifier, I think.
Sorry, let me just... I have it written down somewhere because D&D Beyond has it written so badly. 2 people. I think it's my proficiency bonus. So I'm going to pick myself, that person, well, obviously myself, and then also Ayana. And I'm just be like, hello there, friend. 4 hours! We got a psychic link for 4 hours!
Nice. Alright, mark off one of your psionic die.
Yeah, I got you.
Alright. As you connect, you just hear kind of a hummed melody in his head, just over the river and through the woods, you'll find home again when you ought to.
Can you hear me, friend?
The singing just continues. Just,
Okay, this is gonna be in our head for the next 4 hours, Ayana, just as a heads up.
I like the song.
I'm going to kill myself. It was over the river.
and through the wood, you'll find your home when you oughta.
Your grandmother's house.
And the melody does continue. If you care to listen to all the lyrics of it.
If I feel like that is the most important thing, if that is like the chorus line, you don't have to say the rest.
It does just repeat after about 6 lines. It just seems to be a childhood, like, nursery rhyme, more or less. So it's over the
Everyone else.
river,
Oh, sorry.
over the river and through the wood. You'll find your home when you water. Follow the trees and the flowers through, and we've come home to Papa.
Also, everyone else can hear her humming the song too. She's humming the song as he sings, and she's just spinning her skirt.
Yeah, I don't want to have to hear it twice. No.
It's like echoing.
Yeah.
So as you do
what's
so, Liza and Damien both kind of look over at you, Ayana. It's like, why are you singing that?
Well, because that's what the guy in the other room is singing. And it's kind of in my head now, so why should I not sing it?
The guy in the man in the room is singing it.
We can hear him now.
We don't hear anything.
Oh, I just tap at my head a couple times. I have some things that I've picked up over the years that I can just hear. Well, not over the years, rather recently. But can hear things sometimes.
You see both of them kind of furrow their brow for a moment, look at each other. That's him. And they both kind of rush over to the door and just kind of like try to look into it. That's the nursery rhyme my dad used to sing to us when we were kids.
Shit. So that must be him and Nesh. Who would do that to just a poor old man?
Does the nursery rhyme have any significance? Does it tell a story?
No, it's just our dad's from Sarlai, from back way. Our family's from Sarlai way back in the day. It's just a family nursery rhyme we passed down.
I'm gonna say the word. I'm gonna knock on the door and then say the words to the door.
You knock on the doors and sing, and just kind of like, who calls there?
I think we might have the key, but we're not sure. Can we say it to you?
If you got the key, open the door.
Okay, never mind. We don't have the key. Balls.
Maybe the key is a password. Maybe you should say it.
Okay, over the river and through the woods, you'll find your home if you honor. Say the rest of the words. Those were the only ones I wrote down.
You sing the little melody, kind of instinctively singing it in time with the voice that's now in your head. The door does not budge and nothing seemingly happens.
Oh. At least you tried.
But there was no significance, like when he sang, was it like a place that he would reminisce about frequently, a memory, anything that might give a location?
No, not really. It's just a nursery rhyme.
He would sing it to you before bed, or just...
Yeah, whenever we go to bed, just sing it to keep the kids calm.
Do you think... I have a nasty feeling. You know, when you accidentally skip to the end of something, like when you're reading a book, and then you miss literally everything else. This is what this feels like. Like, we should know what the key is at this point, but we just simply don't. And I don't know if that means we have to backtrack and try to find it somewhere else in the house. Or what?
Is my audio all of a sudden dying? Hold on.
No, I can still hear you.
I just can't hear you. You're stuttering. There we are.
I
It's
I was
fine.
like stutter.
It's casual.
Fine.
It's just
Do
my
you want me to
computer
repeat
listen.
what I just said?
No, I heard it all. It was
Okay.
just enough to be like, ooh, this is disorienting, and I know the stream can hear it this way.
Should we? Yeah, I mean, it's possible we missed something on the way here.
We did just kind of beeline it downstairs. We didn't check out the rest of the house. That's the only reason
Well-
that I say it.
We've not really been lost so far, right?
Do you think we straight up get lost?
So far, every door and every passageway we went through has been either straight or no other option, right?
But the key is lost.
Don't you
Or-
have a hedge maze upstairs?
Yeah, we do. Just outside.
Get lost in that.
Maybe that might be it.
Well, the question. So it says like the song is like over the river, and like, what is it again?
Over the river and through the wood, you'll find your home when you oughta. Follow the trees and follow the flowers, and you'll come home to Papa.
Okay. Well, you know, when we were down the tunnel earlier and we heard water, and then we saw the flowers. Maybe the key's near there.
When we went to the hedge mage last time, didn't we go over like a bridge, like with like a little creek?
No,
Or
you went
am I
down. You went down
imagining
a
that?
stairwell.
Okay, was there any sort of like?
No,
I can't remember.
basically the entrance is a stone because it's outside of this inner kind of courtyard. It's down a bit of stairwell.
Okay.
That's my first instinct, is that it's maybe that, but could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, is there any like water outside?
Well, there's a fountain. That's really it. It's not a creek going through our property or anything like that.
Oh, it's. I mean, standing here doing nothing at a strange talking door is not moving us forward. So, I say we backtrack and see if we can.
Find our way home from there?
Yes.
Yeah. Get lost, find our way home?
All right.
I have a train of thought, but for some reason I feel like it's not going to be leading anywhere good. But in my heart, it feels right.
You know, with all throwing spaghetti at the wall, Eloda, say what's on your mind.
Well, it depends. So to find the key, we must find what we lost already. And if we have the reason to believe that their father's on the other side of the door, we can assume he is not the key. He is not the thing that we have lost and looking for, technically by the riddle standards. So, and if, let's say, I want to say it's something more metaphorically lost, perhaps. And I'm trying
He did recently lose his mind, according to his children.
Yeah.
Could it be
Oh
that?
no, he's
We
been
have to find this man's mind.
he's lost his marbles for quite a long time.
I am wondering if this is something where it's a riddle he might have also set up somehow. Very weird thing, but something he is asking of us, asking what he would ask of people in his mind, his line of thinking would be. I was like, what? Lost sense of adventure, lost childhood wonder. I told you, it's not a good line of thinking, but it's where my brain is going.
Oh, yeah. Damien kind of pipes up at this point. If we're just looking for things that are missing, then there's a handle missing from the door. Who knows?
Really, is it looking for a handle? Damien, you're a fucking genius.
At least someone thinks so. And he
I'm
looks
not
at his
being
sister.
sarcastic. Like this is a good idea. This
My
is good
idea.
odds.
I was
What?
just thinking of the nursery rhyme.
No, that's also a good thought.
Well, let's go back and see if we can find anything else out. Maybe there's a clue hidden somewhere that we missed.
When we backtrack, when we go to the area with the flowers and the sound of the river, I'm still gonna check, like, the walls and stuff.
As you guys make way back through, following the path that you'd taken prior, kind of run your hands along the walls on either side, and they're solid, short of the occasional roots and branches that your hand brushes over. Sometimes it does feel a little damp, but probably more from the dampness of the air and the earth than a river or creek or anything of that sort. But completely uneventful in the same way that you'd come prior, you exit back out into the kitchen. Is it a bad idea that I want to try and open one of the other doors?
No, actually, I think that's a good idea.
Go for it.
So as you guys leave the kitchen, Liza opens one of the other doors across the hall, and almost paradoxically, this door is on a corner, right? It seems like it should be going into a room expanding out to the right, but it expands out evenly both ways, and you see the kitchen. Well, and she
Do you
kind of
think-
turns back and looks at the
Go
kitchen
ahead.
and looks forward at the kitchen, and well, that's not right.
Garen's gonna step through it.
You step through it, and you find a kitchen.
Is it the same kitchen or a different kitchen?
It is the exact same kitchen.
Well, like when I go through the door, am I come back into the kitchen that we were in, or is
No,
it?
you're distinct. Like, it's distinct. There's not a mirrored copy of you.
Okay. Okay.
So do you think that everyone got sent to different parts of the house when they ran in?
I don't quite know what to think at this point. All I know is apparently the kitchen's where we're supposed to go. Or at least where we were supposed to go.
As long as that was the correct direction, can we backtrack, do you think?
Well, the hallway's still there,
Let's
unfortunately.
just for good measure try another door.
Alright. Liza kind of looks around. Damien goes up to a door kind of further back down the hallway to where you guys came from, and opens it and is faced with the same kitchen. Now, I know I'm not quite the brightest. I know I'm not quite the brightest, but this is not supposed to be here.
This is fey magic. As I was saying, this is the type of tomfuckery they like to do.
So they're trying to get you back home to Papa, clearly.
Yeah, now only if the door is actually unlocked.
So, is there any other locations that you might think is significant? Maybe we should try the hedge maze. One does get lost there.
Yeah, you gotta find your local hedge maze.
Kitchen, can we?
Well, they had one in their garden, right?
Yeah, no, I was
Hedge
making it.
mage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you find your local hedge witch just kind of chilling.
Yeah. That's the only place I can think of one might get lost.
Yeah, it's better than
Agree.
being stuck in here.
Just gonna try it.
Okay.
Lila's gonna start walking down the hallway.
Yeah.
Liza kind of like
Before we
steps
leave, do you
quickly
think
with
there's
you.
something?
I think we should all try to stick together so we don't get separated. Ayana, you're screaming in my brain that you want to speak. Go ahead.
Well, since all the doors are leading to the kitchen, do you think there's something important in the kitchen? Something, like, do you think the key's in here?
Could be.
I think what's
Like, I
important
don't-
is that we got to the tunnels.
Yes. So I'm wondering if it's within the tunnels or if it is again some sort of password or.
I think we were supposed to find the tunnels for sure and be down there, but I think we need to find the way through the tunnels. It's possible the key could be in the kitchen, but it doesn't really fit the rhyme.
I know, but the doors are all leading back to the kitchen, which I'm assuming are leading to the tunnels. So it's sort of it feels as if it's trying to be that we have already gone through where we need to go. We just have not found what we're looking for.
Yes.
All roads lead to Papa.
Exactly, so that's fitting.
I'm assuming we're walking now towards the maze.
Yeah, you've all been walking down the hallway and kind of moving through its twisting and distorted images. And eventually you do make your way back out into the main ballroom, where it is now more or less devoid of life.
Sorry, cat crimes.
Juno!
She's trying to climb the curtain. I'm gonna be right back.
I do have a question. Is there still like ruckus outside?
Make a perception check.
I will do that.
Are you going outside to check, or are you just trying to listen from
I
in?
think I'm gonna poke my head out. Yeah.
Okay.
$18.
18. You had not heard prior, really. You're just kind of relying on Lowe's description. There is still a bit of a ruckus, but it's not quite like angry mob trying to push through a door. And more so just kind of like lots of confused voices shouting over top of each other. Some asking, "Where are you?" Some asking, "What's going on?" And some just kind of disordinately screaming random things.
Okay. Since I poked my head out, I assume I see. Are the people in like the inner courtyard, or is everyone still in the outer courtyard?
You do not see anyone in the inner courtyard.
Okay. I will return to the group.
You return internal to the ballroom as you all kind of gather yourself together.
Do we still hear his singing in our head?
I don't know how long the distance is.
Because we're a little bit further.
It's a mile radius.
Oh yeah, you still hear the nursery rhyme in your head.
Alrighty then. Gara's gonna step up towards the maze.
So you're going outside?
Yeah, he's gonna go outside.
Alright. You hear the same disordinate kind of shouting coming from outside the outer courtyard. Different voices shouting over top of each other, and no one really hearing almost seems like no one hears each other, but they're shouting for each other. As you
Interesting.
turn to face the maze, you see that it is actually, from having been there prior, it is now a lot more overgrown. And there seems to be now trees sticking up out of it. And kind of just all the hedges are now rough and grown out of order.
As we walk, do we see the flowers I planted?
Yeah, you do. They're just kind of sitting.
Yay!
There's actually... make a perception check real quick.
Oh,
Yeah, you. You make a
which dice
perception
is
check.
going to be mean? Yeah, I was trying to figure out which dice was going to go and actually roll well. Well, not this one apparently. Perception. 12.
A 12. You do notice that there are more flowers than what you planted. Like, there are more silver lace than what you planted growing. They're all still in the same spots, more or less, but there's just more of them.
Just looking around, like, I definitely didn't do that.
Yeah. And you
It
do
wasn't my
notice,
fault.
low especially, you notice that there's a lot of silver lace dotting the path to the hedge maze.
And you probably see her looking very guilty looking.
I got a passive insight of something. Or it's more the passive perception and investigation that are important, but
I mean, there's enough flowers that you're like, ah, shit, there is literally just a line and path of them.
I've been probably hearing about these flowers all fucking week too, so I know.
You know a silver lace when you see it.
I just
Oh,
look
yeah.
at Ayana like, you've done this. I can't believe you've done this.
I didn't plant this much. I didn't. I'm gonna. She's gonna look at. Oh God, I don't want to say his name wrong. And she's gonna look at Garen and she's just gonna be like, "But I didn't plant that much, right? I planted a good amount, but not that much. That would have taken like a long time."
No, you are correct. You only planted in that one spot that I.
No.
Or like, well, outside, out here.
Oh no, she did more than one spot.
Yeah, you do know that she planted like a dozen or more of these
Oh, yeah.
flowers, but there are like
Yeah.
probably almost
there's-
100 or more.
There's quite a bit more flowers here than what you planted. And I'm thinking that is on purpose, especially with where it's leading.
Many blessings.
There's a whole path.
Ayana, you would know. The Feywild is the realm of Doralia. So the goddess of nature. The Fey realm is her kind of... The Feywild is her plane that she commands. Though she's not really like a ruler so much, but she is the goddess of the plane. So Fey and Doralia are kind of intertwined in legend.
I say we should follow the path of the silver lace.
I think
They're like, this is blessed, yeah.
At least I think Doralia would want us to.
I say it'd be worth a shot.
shall follow the path.
The siblings kind of look at you. Well, lead the way. You all are more competent at this than we are.
Garen's gonna, go forward.
All right. Yeah, all as a group begin walking into the hedge maze, going down the stairs leading into it, and you see that it is overgrown massively since when you first came down here. The center, where there used to be just the fountain and the benches and a few small bushes of flowers, have overgrown. The fountain is covered in leaves and branches and vines. The flower bushes have overgrown massively to the size of boulders. Tree roots stick up and jut out of the ground at odd angles, creating this kind of... It almost looks like the forest floor, and this has been reclaimed over hundreds of years, but You've been here within the last hour. There's no way that this has happened.
Or it was
And
100 years.
as you go down, you see the same 3 paths, though vastly overgrown and now shadowed over by hedges and branches. And that is where we're going to take a break really quickly. So, we will be right back. Hang on, we'll take like a 15-minute break, and we'll be back right before you know it. So go get a drink, go to the bathroom, get some snacks, and we will see you in a moment. All right, we'll be right back. Bye, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a nice break. Got some water, got something to eat, some snacks, went to the bathroom if you had to. Bathroom breaks and water are important for your health and survival. I am the snack, yeah.
I got appy juice.
I got adult appy juice.
For those of you who think that Ayana is just a character, that is false. It is, in fact, just Kaylee.
Yes.
Like, if we
No.
paint, we just need to paint Kaylee green, and that's it. Game over. All right.
Well, I officially made Ayana like 4 years ago. So like, we just formed together after these years.
You've just slowly merged into the same
Did you get-
person.
Did you get some chicken nuggies too?
I did.
Knew it. Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Some Abby juice and chicken nuggies.
And some French fries.
That is a solid meal.
Yeah.
Oh god, we're all adults here. It's fine.
Yeah.
I am 25 years old.
I want to go out. How old I am.
I
Don't wanna
ate
out
chicken
yourself.
nuggets.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we're all appropriately hydrated, ready for the day with our snacks and our drinks, everyone got the snacks in their lunch boxes? Let us return back to our game. So, as you all enter the hedge maze, and it is now overgrown, and you hear distant sounds of what seems to be almost a forest around you at this point, you are immediately faced with, around this overgrown fountain and flower beds, 3 different exits. One forward, one left, and one right. You do see some of them have roots kind of going up, the center one diving down a little bit at an odd angle almost. Not steeply, but just kind of like sinking like a shallow hill. The one on the left just has a trail of silver lace flowers kind of wandering through it. And the one on the right, you can hear the sounds of a distant babbling brook.
I know it said something about water in that rhyme that you all are hearing, but the silver lace is going a different direction.
Well, whatever you think is right. I still don't think the rhyme has much to do with it.
You never know with these fae.
I think we should just follow the flowers.
If that's what you feel is best, you have your connection with your patron.
Goddess?
Yes.
Plot twist: Ayana's a warlock.
I am a warlock. just so you know.
First combat we get into, Ayana pulls out 3 Eldritch Blasts.
Pew, pew, pew.
And I go blasting.
I want to fire my laser.
We do have to get lost to get found again. So if your instinct is to go that way, I think that that's probably best. And if we have to go through a brook, eventually we'll get there.
Well, if anything, excuse me, I had an apple juice bubble. If anything, if we find out that the flowers weren't the right path, we can always follow them back.
Let's just go check this path out then.
Yes.
All right. So you all begin following the silver lace, wandering through this path, taking a few turns, left and right, thinking you hit a dead end for a moment, and then seeing at the very last second there's just a narrow path to the side, all the while following the lightless little glimmering trail of silver lilies just kind of dotting throughout the maze. Sometimes they even climb up into the bushes themselves, into the hedges, and kind of leave a little trail going all around, almost as if something's just kind of walking and planting them. And eventually you seem to find a small T section, just a little junction, that the flowers seem to just stop.
Do we hear the brook anymore? Or has that kind of faded?
Make a perception check.
Perception. How do I do math?
Carefully.
17.
17. You do not hear the brook at all.
Yeah, I was just gonna kind of see if you can see anything distinct by either path.
Alright.
That is a 19.
19. You do not see anything distinct. They're identical, and they seem to each go for almost, it seems like there's a bit of a fog settling in, and you can't see too far down either path. They both go about probably 50 feet before you can't really make out too many details.
Well, which way do we go?
How about, can I go to the end of the flower path and bend down and pray to my goddess and try to figure out which path is best?
Sure. You can certainly
Since-
try.
Since I probably, like, you said, like, with the Fae and stuff like that, like, she has more of a presence here now.
Well, no, you're aware of the
No.
fact that Duralia is associated with Fae and the Feywild.
Okay. Do you want me to roll anything?
You can sit down and pray,
Okay.
and for the most part, nothing comes to you.
Damn.
This is why there's a spell called Commune.
I don't have it.
I know. You don't get to ask direct questions yet.
It's fine. It's fine. Eventually. Hopefully.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If he holds, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's go.
Ayana, you do note, by the way, sorry to interrupt you, there is kind of a flower sticking out of the hedge in front of you. Like the flower trail kind of just goes up to the hedge itself and then seems to abruptly stop. but there seems to be a flower kind of jutting out from underneath it.
I'm gonna jump up and I'm gonna run that way.
You're gonna run straight into the hedge?
Yeah.
Alright. You all see Ayana very excitedly just hop up and then just whoosh, straight through the hedge and just disappears.
Oh,
Darren's
God.
like immediately after.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I'm dragging the siblings.
Alright, you all one by one barrel into this hedge and immediately come out on another side facing a broad circular kind of garden within this hedge maze itself. Fog kind of gently covering the ground with trees and overgrowth all around. And in the dead center, you just see what seems to be a giant statue of a marionette. And it's almost kind of like in a really like eloquent bow, and it's just holding out in its hand a small doorknob.
Well, we found our key.
I'm first in there, right?
Yes, you are first in line.
And I'm the stupidest, so I'm gonna run over to the doorknob.
All right, as you run up to the marionette.
No.
You just hear in your head, "Don't touch that!" And they turn around and you just see the hand. It's like, oh no!
You rush towards the marionette, and as soon as you do, you just hear, and the hand sticks up into the air about 20 feet up, and you just hear a rustling and sound of footsteps and pedals. And out of the fog, out of the hedge walls around you, you guys see two groups of figures appear, almost seemingly merging from the hedges themselves. And you realize that they aren't emerging from the hedges so much as they are part of it, as these vaguely humanoid forms of branch and bramble and leaf begin stepping out, flanked by two almost oddly shaped canines with flatter heads and long spined tails sticking up in these bright emerald green eyes that glow. You see each figure, these tall leafy figures, just kind of pull a large heavy staff, just a giant tree branch essentially, out of the hedge with them, and they begin walking towards Ayana. And at this point, I would like you all to roll initiative.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die.
Shane, I got a dirty 20. Oh wait, no,
Alright.
I'm bad at reading. That's a 22. I was reading it out of the corner of my eye, and I thought it was a 16. That's an 18.
I
No,
got
I
It's
got the
reading
dirty 20.
comprehension.
It's also just perspective.
All right. What'd you get?
I got an 18.
18. All right. What'd you get? Eloda.
oh, 13.
13. All right. Let me put on some epic battle music. We do not have maps today because I was not prepared for this. Well, I was prepared for it, but I just didn't have the time to put together the overlay for maps. So, all right. First up in the order, as beyond no one's surprise, is Lo.
Is the figure standing, like, is she, like, is it up against, wow, Ayana? Yeah or no?
So to set the scene, this is about a 20-foot radius circular space. Each one of these groupings is coming from the opposite sides of the spacing. So one group
Okay.
about 30 feet to one side, one group about 30 feet to the other. They are both kind of flanking Ayana, but they're 20 feet apart from her.
I'm going to run up in front of Ayana, and if The trigger will be if they attack her or me. And then I'm just gonna unleash my attacks. So attack and bonus action attacks, if that's okay.
You would just get your action. You can't hold a bonus action, unfortunately.
Okay, cool. Let me see if I have any bonus actions that are fun. Sorry, I made this character literally 4 months ago. Nope. Alright, that's it. I'm just gonna attack if they go after her or me.
Alright.
Or anyone really, but like mostly the two of us.
And how many are in each group again?
There are 2 of these tall, leafy figures, and then there's 2 dogs per group.
Okay.
Alright. As Lo rushes forward and kind of immediately begins guard, I'm assuming you draw your weapons.
They don't need to be drawn until it's time.
Okay. Alright.
Well, like they don't appear until she needs them, so they don't appear.
But for funsies.
But for funsies, I'm waiting until it's time.
Okay. Alright. That brings us to Ayana as Lo rushes to your defense, and you're kind of caught off guard with this marionette jerking its hand out of the way.
Am I like in melee of like?
No, they are 20 feet away from you.
I'm gonna back up a bit.
Back towards the group.
Can I go towards Lo?
Lo is right next to you.
I'm right next to you.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna back up behind Lo.
Alright, you take a few steps back, placing Lo directly in the flank of both of these groups.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. So the marionette, in my point of view, is scariest. So I am. Oh god, I had my spells up. I am gonna go and cast guiding bolt at the marionette.
I will stop you so you don't waste a spell slot.
Oh, really?
It is a statue. You
Oh,
have not.
it's just a statue. I'm sorry. It
moved
so...
in like a mechanical fashion, like not.
Okay. Oops.
Not as in like it came to life, but more so just the arm is on a hinge and just went.
Oh. Oops. Okay. So things are flanking us. Okay, I'm gonna go and aim to the one on the left.
All right. Roll for attack then.
Okay.
Guiding bolt up the bolt.
Oh, it was trying to be a 20, but it wasn't, sadly. 17 to hit.
All right. Are you aiming for the humanoid figures or aiming for the dogs?
Probably the dogs.
All right.
The dogs, because they're fast.
All right. So that does in fact hit. So roll for your damage.
Okay.
And describe to me what your guiding bolt looks like.
Well, a bolt of pink and green, a pink and green bolt.
All right. Roll your damage.
$12.
All right. 12 damage. All right. Good to know. So 12 damage as you see Ayana's reaches her hand out and this kind of shimmering, like almost like sunlight piercing through a forest, glows off of her hand, and green and pink energy shoots out, lancing into one of the dogs, and you see it kind of sparkle and shimmer with these green and emerald and almost kind of like topazy dust. As the next attack now has advantage on that dog.
And as a bonus action, can I cast a spiritual weapon?
No, because it is a leveled spell. You already cast one leveled spell this turn.
Shoot. Okay, yeah, sorry. Um, I've used it differently with other DMs, so I wasn't sure. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm done then.
All right. That brings us to the next of the order is Garen.
He is going to go probably to the other side, like whichever opposite like group, and he's just going to go up to what are the humanoid figures.
Right.
And as he does so, I'm going to cast the Wrathful Smite as a bonus action, and then attack.
All right. Roll for attack.
With my Morning Star. That is only a 13.
13 hits.
Oh, okay. Right. So let's see. Oh, come on. So that's 7 from the weapon, and then another d6. Then 6, so 13 damage.
All right. 13 damage as you draw your Morning Star, and this kind of like pulsing black and silver energy comes off of it, striking into the side of this creature, just blasting and ripping away at the vines and branches that make up its side.
And it does have to make a wisdom saving throw or be frightened.
Okay. Well, that is an 11, which I believe fails. Wait, hold on. It does have it does have resistance to this. 12.
She said 12?
A 12, yeah. Sorry. I forgot it has advantage on these things.
Oh, well, that still fails.
All right. So this guy is now frightened. So you kind of see it, like, you've ripped a decent chunk out of its side with your Morning Star, and it immediately kind of backs up, kind of unprepared for this onslaught. If you could see its face, you'd imagine there'd be fear on it, but you can't see its face.
The leaves are shaking.
Yeah. It's shaking like a leaf in a storm. Alright, that brings us next to Eloda.
Okay, so there's the center people, the enemies to the right, which are the ones that Ayana has hit, but she has not gone over to them, correct?
Yeah, so they're out of the two groups, Ayana has hit one of the dogs in one of them. Garen ran over to the other and smashed the shit out of one of the humanoid creatures. But the other ones don't have anyone engaged with them.
Never had a character with options before.
Options.
As in, like, oh, I forgot. I have a strength modifier and a decent weapon. But I think I'm gonna run over to the group that no one is currently at, and I am going to cast Thunder Wave.
All right, so that is what, a con save?
Yeah, let me double check the distance on that. So yeah, it's 15 feet. So as long as I'm more than 15 feet away from the crew.
Yeah, if you like press yourself right up, like follow along the edge of the hedges, you can stay relatively out of the way of everyone else.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. That is a success on the first one for the humanoid creature, because that's a, what was it, a con save? That's an 18. Is an 18 a success?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And then for the doggos, that's a con of 16 and 6.
So yeah, the 6 does not pass.
All right. So as you blast, one of the dogs kind of almost phases out of existence for a second, and as the other gets kind of thrown back and knocked around, The tall humanoid figure just seems to root itself into the ground for a moment to sustain the shockwave.
I roll damage.
Yeah.
Woof. 4.
4 damage. Up, and my chrome is being a pain in the butt again. 4 damage. All right. So one of the dogs gets shoved back by the shockwave. All right. Would you like to do anything else?
As my bonus action, where'd you go? I'm going to go look at low. Yeah, I'll do low. Actually, yeah, I'll do low. I want to give low bardic inspiration. Be like, hot shot, you got this.
What does your bardic inspiration do?
You get 1d6 you can roll to add to an ability check, an attack roll, or a saving throw in the next 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
All right. That brings us to the enemy's turns. All right, so Eloda, since you have appeared and tried to hit this creature, it's going to turn to you, and you see as it winds up with its staff, just kind of a faint shimmer of light starts glowing along it. It's going to take a swing at you with its staff. And that will be a 18.
Yeah, that hits.
All right. So you take 6 bludgeoning damage as it kind of slams into you, and you feel this kind of burst of energy off of it, kind of knocking you a little bit to the side off your shoulder. And that brings us to, let's just, since they're all in one big block in the initiative order, because I rolled really badly for all of them, we'll just do the dogs that are next to you. You see the one dog that actually got hit with the shockwave kind of stumble and stutter and look between you and Lo and Ayana. All you see is it just disappears, reappearing right next to Lo and jumping forward, lashing out with it. So you can roll your attack at the same time as it's rolling. It's a nat 1, so you roll.
Oh god, they fell on the ground.
All right.
Oh god, that's not very good. Boop 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 doop. I'm gonna use my bardic inspiration. Fuck it. Why are all my dice suddenly falling? I can't find that one. Oh god, that's not very helpful. That's 13 to hit.
13 just hits.
Sweet. And is this dog within 5 feet of Ayana as well?
Given that she stepped back, I'm gonna say probably not.
Okay. That's just for the matter of me getting sneak attack. Sorry.
Yeah, no, she's not threatening this dog that currently.
Okay. Oh god. Okay, so it's gonna be really dope. Damage as shit. So that's only 5 points of damage. But you guys just see a spectral dagger appear, and Lo just kind of gets dodges the attack, gets really low, and just stabs the dagger up into this thing's throat, right underneath, and then the dagger disappears. That's psychic damage, by the way.
Yeah. All right.
And then it disappears and then back into fighting stance.
Yeah. As you kind of duck out of the way, stabbing and slicing towards the dog, leaving a nice hefty gash, kind of missing its throat and just slicing across its shoulder.
Nothing. There's no damage. It's psychic. There's nothing there.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay.
You're still slashing across its body, but leaving no wound against it. as it kind of like falls to the ground. You can see the confusion in the dog as it kind of catches itself, and it's like, why am I in pain almost?
Oh no!
Anne is covering her eyes.
All right. The other dog is going to attack Eloda as it rushes and jumps at her.
I don't know if it's... I guess my question is this immune to being charmed before... I'll still roll it, but like...
You don't know.
If my roll means anything. Because I want to do cutting words at it.
You have no idea if it's immune to anything or resistant or vulnerable to anything.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just gonna cutting words it and be like, hey, back off.
Okay. Roll your die.
Sit, Ubu.
Sit, boo-boo. Not now, doggy. This is not fun for you. -5.
Okay. It's a nat 1 anyways, so... You rush forward, you kind of yell at the dog, and it just... As it takes that last step before it lunges, you see its little paw just kind of twist on a root, and it just tumbles around and lands next to you, kind of catching itself and backing off quickly.
It's okay, doggy. I'm sorry we have to fight like this.
Garen, the creature in front of you is going to try and attack you at disadvantage, because it is now horribly frightened of you. And if I remember my own stat blocks, that's going to be an 18 to hit.
That just meets my AC.
All right. It rolled an 18, like it rolled a natural 18 and a natural 12. So, all right. As it kind of panically swings its wooden staff at you, you're going to take not a whole lot of damage. You're going to take 6 bludgeoning damage as it smacks into you, and you feel the force of the magic just kind of push you back. And the dog next to it is going to lunge towards you as well. And that is definitely not a hit. That is a 12. So the dog kind of lunges at you, and you put your foot out, it's kind of stopping it in its tracks. And the other one is just going to just seeing that you're already being attacked and seeing there's more prey to be had, disappears and appears right behind Ayana, lunging towards her. And your AC is an 11 right now, and that's a 14.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So this dog jumps at you, and you feel its teeth sink into your shoulder blade as it bites into you, and you take 3 piercing damage.
Oh, okay.
All right, and that brings us way back round to Low.
Okay.
There was only one tree creature on that side?
There's one on each side, and then 2 dogs.
Okay.
There were 2 dogs on each side. There's now 1 and 2 in the center.
Sorry, I thought you said there was 2 trees, 2 dogs.
2 trees, 4 dogs, technically, overall.
Okay. Okay.
I would like to. Can I reposition myself without getting out of melee range with this dog to Liana's side, or no?
I mean, you are more or less next to each other. However, you're not in range of the other dog because it's behind Ayana.
Okay, I'm just trying to get my sneak attack, because, like, that's the only thing I got, man. So I'm just wondering whether or not I can reposition myself to get sneak attack.
Imagine that the dogs are on either end of you two, more or less.
Okay, so, no. Alright, then I'm gonna keep on stabbing it. That first one is not very good. That is a 9 total.
Alright, that is not a hit.
And the second one is a 16.
A 16 does hit.
Or sorry, 17.
17 also hits.
Okay. I just did math bad. That's 4 points of damage.
Alright.
And there's my turn.
So you slash out at the dog, missing with the first ones. It kind of ducks under the blade, but swinging back and kind of embedding it into its shoulder as you let go, and it just disintegrates from what is now nothing of a wound, though the dog is visibly injured. You can see kind of a little bit of blood at this point is pouring a little bit from its ears. All right. That brings us right back to Ayana. You've been bitten.
Okay, so question.
Yeah.
So are these dogs like are these like real dogs, or are they would they be counted as like real animals?
You are not certain. They do not look like normal dogs, that's for certain.
My dog's being annoying. He really wants my food. Oh my God. Okay. Because I was just wondering, because Ayana made a pact not to hurt any animals.
So it looks dog-like. Like, it has relatively dog features, though it's got very, like, sharp, like, long pointed ears, very muscular bodies, and this, long tentacle-like tail with spikes on the end. You can assume what you want from that description.
Would it take an action to try to use animal handling?
Yeah, you can use your action to try and, like, calm the dog down.
I don't know if I want to use my whole action on that. I'm gonna do it.
All right, roll for animal handling.
Okay. My God. Sorry. No, he's speaking to me. Okay. Oh. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. A 10.
10. How would you like to? What are you trying to say to the dog to make it calm down? And what language are you saying it in?
I think I know Common, Elvish, and Primordial, so probably Elvish.
Okay. What are you saying in Elvish? Sorry.
I'm sorry for attacking you. Can we just be friends?
Okay. The dog hesitates for a moment as you talk to it and kind of like put your hands out, but it doesn't seem abated too much.
Okay. So can I cast Spiritual Weapon as a bonus action?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What would you like your weapon to be?
Okay, so it's gonna be a big mace. So on the head of the mace is a head of a dragon, and on the handle of the mace has a whole bunch of vines wrapping around it, and it's a whole bunch of silver laces on the vines.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
You all see this spectral green and pink dragon mace appear midair. I'm assuming if you're going to attack for it, roll for attack.
Can I put it over? Is there still like a humanoid creature?
Yeah, there's still either one. Nothing has fallen in this fight.
Okay, I'm gonna go and place. Could I place it over there, or is it too far away?
No, it's 20 feet either way, so you should have enough range.
Coolio. Okay. So 16 to hit.
A 16 to hit. Which one would you like? Because there's the one near Aloda and there's the one near Garen.
I was aiming more on the left, so.
The one you hit, so towards the group you hit prior?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the one with Aloda. So, okay. You said 17?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a hit.
No, 16.
16 is still a hit.
Okay, cool. Okay. 1d8. Are you a d8? You're not. No, you are. Aha!
D8s, the little like diamondy ones. He's good.
Yeah! That one's not good though. Okay, that is 1, 4.
Alright, 4 damage. As this dragon's head mace just slams into the back of this creature and knocks it forward. It kind of stumbles almost towards Eloda, but catches itself with its staff to kind of keep some distance. Alright. Speaking of which, it is now Garen's turn.
Alright. So I have a tree and a dog, so I'm gonna just go for the tree in front of me.
Alright, roll for your attack.
Definitely. I rolled an 18.
Yeah, that's a hit.
So alright. That is 8. That is 9 from the Morning Star, and then 6 more from the Smite. So
Is the
9
smite
and
still
6.
on it? Because you cast the smite prior and then immediately hit after.
Yeah, it. Oh yeah, yes. The next time you hit with a weapon attack. Turn.
Yeah, all the smites are only one time use, I'm pretty sure.
That's right. I forgot.
9 damage.
Because it said
still,
concentration. Yeah, so 9 damage. So.
Okay, that's enough. As you take your mace and swing it down on top of the creature, it tries to hold up its staff, and you just smash directly through it, and kind of just almost like just the idea of something heavy hitting a stick that's sticking out of the ground. It just crumples underneath it. Just you just slam it into the dirt. It is now very much not moving.
I'm picturing him just like it going all the way to the ground, and just him just like taking a second to pull it up, and then like finally get it up, and then look at the dog next, and just kind of grin.
It's just backing away a little slowly. Just dog noises. Alright. Would you like to do anything else with your turn?
Not at the moment, no.
Alright. That brings us back to Eloda.
Alright.
Oh, are they going to? Oh, I keep on thinking my name is Eloda because there's the low in it, and my brain is hearing that and thinking, "Oh, it's me." It's not. It's not me.
It's not. Unfortunately, no.
Okay. I could try. That doesn't work. So I still have like the dog and humanoid on my side, yes?
Yeah.
And the humanoid are they looking a little rough from Ayana?
They took a hit. They're not like falling to pieces, but they've taken a hit.
Alright. I think just because that didn't work out well for me last time, I'm gonna take my long sword in both hands and attack the humanoid.
Alright.
Swing for it.
Roll for attack.
21.
Yeah, 21 hits.
Unfortunately, it was not a nat 20. That would have been cooler. All right, where'd I put my dice?
No, I'm gonna throw enemies at you that have a 20 AC when you're level 3.
Yeah.
Because fuck you guys in particular.
Apparently, yes.
9 damage.
Alright.
Yeah.
9 damage. You wind up with your long sword and swing at it. Kind of almost turning it into a bit of topiary, slicing through its chest and leaving this nice clean cut of the branches just kind of being sliced right off. It does not look happy about that by any means. It is now kind of like, you see it kind of swaying a bit more since you've cut some of its support structure out. And now, would you like to do anything else with your turn?
think that's it.
All right. Time for its vengeance, as it is not particularly happy that you just cut part of its chest out. That's cocked. All right, that's going to be a 21 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Vengeance. Vengeance.
Vengeance.
All right. That is going to be... I rolled well for once. 10 bludgeoning damage as it kind of whips around and slams the staff into you, kind of hitting you right in the side of the head and knocking you a little bit sunder. And you just kind of... Your eyes roll for a moment as you catch your balance.
Ouch.
And you see as it's kind of catching itself, it's like, all right, looking around between all of you. And as it's getting its bearings, the dog is going to lunge at you as well.
Ugh.
Because who loves a bard that just goes like, 3 enemies, I got this.
I was hoping Thunderwave would be more effective.
All right. That is an 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
All right, and that's going to be 4 piercing damage. The dog lunges and kind of sinks its teeth
sick.
into your shins.
So close.
Assuming Elota's not feeling too good.
Loda's not feeling too good. Luckily, she is a half-orc, but that's not going to get her a lot farther.
All right, this brings us to the rest of the dogs. My music is stuttering. All right, Lo, this dog is not particularly happy that you keep stabbing it, but it's not being stabbed. It's very concerned and very confused, and it does not have the intelligence to handle this fact.
Hey, buddy.
That is a lot. That is a 22 to hit.
Yeah.
All right. That's all right. You take 7 piercing damage as it lunges forward. You kind of put your arm up to defend yourself, and it just sinks its teeth directly into your forearm. You have to shake and bite, and it kind of tears through your skin a little bit, definitely putting a hole in your jacket.
Like this jacket, no.
Eventually, you manage to toss the dog off, and it kind of rights itself, skidding a little bit and blinking right back towards you, staying engaged in the fight.
So cute. I'm
All right.
murdering this thing.
Oh, Ayana, no. The other dog rolled an 11 to hit.
So close.
As it kind of now that you're facing it and kind of positioned, looking at it and the dryad you just hit, it lunges forward and kind of takes sinks its teeth into your thigh, kind of leaving a scrape mark without having to fully commit to it. And that's gonna be 5 piercing damage.
Ooh,
as its teeth slice into your
was
flesh.
Was that the one that was trying to talk to?
Yeah, you talk to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I don't think
seem
we're
to have
friends
understood.
No.
You get the
You said
feeling that
5?
it does not understand Elvish. Yeah, 5 piercing damage.
Yeah. We're not friends, it's fine.
Alright. And Garen, your doggo is rolling really poorly, so that's a fucking 10.
Ugh, dang it, I wanted it to hit me.
Hit me! Hit me! You can stand there and take it.
I mean, he's almost tempted to let it hit him. You know what? Yeah, he's gonna let it hit him. He's gonna do it.
Alright. And I almost rolled max damage. That's great. So that is 6 piercing damage as you kind of just stand there in a come at me pose. Dog rushes forward and lunges onto your arm.
And he's gonna cast Hellish Rebuke.
Alright, roll for damage. Or is it a saving throw?
Saving throw.
Alright. What type?
Dexterity.
Dex. It is okay at those. That's a 15.
Oh, dang it. It saves.
Still half damage.
Wait, still half damage, yes. Alright. Roll high. Roll high. Okay, not bad. Okay, not bad. Not bad. 15.
15. How much? Wait, what damage dice is Hellish Rebuke?
2d10?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm glad that dog made that save then. Because as soon as it sinks its teeth into you and you feel your blood start oozing, all of a sudden just a burst of flame shoots off of your arm. And it yelps and falls back. And you see this off the side of its face, as all its fur is singed off, and you see black flesh.
Puppy.
In this moment, we all realize Garen gives 0 fucks.
Yeah. He was hoping you'd kill it.
You fucking almost did. Oh my, that was more than half its health. Alright, that brings us back round to Low.
Okay, I feel so bad continuously stabbing this dog, but I'm going to have to. That's a 21.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay,
Close.
cool. Oh, that's
So close.
that's max damage, so that's, hold on. That's 10 points of psychic.
Alright. As this dog kind of blinks towards you, catching and rushing towards you, you pull your dagger out of the air and slam it into the dog's side and kind of knock it off its trajectory. And it just stumbles and lands on the ground and rolls. And you see as it comes to rest, it's just loose and limp on the ground.
Ayana, do you got this one?
What?
Do you got the one that's on you?
Oh, I was actually gonna go and see if I can try to heal Alona.
Okay! And then I flip around and stab the one that's on Ayana.
Alright, roll for attack.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I was just gonna go try to fight the ones that were fighting Loda as I'm like stabbing the one. That's a 15.
A 15 does hit.
That's 5 points of damage.
Alright, 5 points of damage. First damage this dog's taken. As you shove the spectral dagger into the side of the dog's neck, and it kind of stumbles out of the way, yelping, and looks towards both you and Ayana. Alright. That brings us to Ayana herself.
Yeah. So I'm gonna run over to Alona.
Alright, you are going to take an attack of opportunity.
It's fine.
Alright, that's cocked.
It's all for you.
That's a nat 12 plus 3, so that's 15, so that hits.
No.
And I rolled a 1, so you take 2 piercing damage as it just barely nips the back of your shin.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have as much health points as I do for armor class.
Are you
That's
guys,
not a good thing!
you
It's
guys
fine.
going down?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Where are you? I'm gonna run over to you.
You rush over to Alona.
Yeah. Oh, I'm like all bloody and stuff, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, you've been
The
like
dress is ruined.
thankfully since the one like the shoulder isn't it's exposed, the dog just bit straight into your flesh, so it didn't rip the dress up the top. But you are bleeding
Oh,
profusely.
yeah.
Just kind of like scarlet streaks
Oh, I'm bleeding
across it.
on the dress. No.
I can be dry cleaned.
Yeah.
Leonardo has
Okay,
got you.
Magic, we don't need to worry about it.
Okay, I'm gonna go and cast, I'm gonna run over and like, while I run, I like kind of like, run over and like run into her and like cast healing. Where are you?
Heal wounds. Cure wounds.
Oh, yeah, cure wounds. I was looking at the wrong thing and I thought I was like missing it. Yeah.
Okay. And are you, for point of order, are you running behind her or next to her?
Whatever's closest.
Either or. It's not really. You can kind of get either way with your movement.
Behind.
Okay. Just in case, you know, for recognition from the dog and the like woodland creature that's about to stab her.
Oh. Oh shit. Okay.
It's a question of whether or not you are also now a threat, or is Eloda still the one in the front?
I'm hiding from behind.
All right.
Okay, little one.
Roll your dice.
Oh, okay. I think that's right. Oh, it is. Okay, cool. 11.
All right. 11 hit
God,
points.
I almost wish I got Dunzo because then I could use my special abilities to hurt people more.
All right. Would you like to do anything else, Ayana? You can
bonus
make
action.
I was
I'm
gonna
gonna.
say, make attack.
With my bonus action, I'm gonna go and make attack with my spiritual weapon.
All right. Against the dog or the woodland spirit?
The spirit.
All right. Roll for your attack.
Okay. Okay. 23 to hit.
A 23 definitely hits.
Are you sure?
No, it was real close though.
Okay. Oh, good to know. Alright, that's a 6 damage.
All right, 6 damage. As after having a decent chunk of it sliced out of its chest by Eloda's longsword, the mace comes behind it. You actually take out, slamming into one of its legs, and just rips the whole leg off of its body. And it's just kind of standing there at this point, catching itself propped up with the staff. Alright, that brings us right back rounds to our solo combatant on the other side of the field, Garen.
Yeah, he's gonna smack it.
Alright.
Smack it good.
Do the big smack against the doggo. Do the big smack.
That is a 18 to hit.
Yeah, an 18 does in fact hit. So roll for your damage.
That is 8 damage.
8 damage. One more than you need. So you bring your mace down this dog as it kind of starts rushing towards you, and just similar to the woodland spirits you crushed before, you just slam its skull directly into the dirt, and it just sits there kind of splayed out, unmoving.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then he's going to move over to the remaining enemies.
All right,
and
next to Low.
Yeah. And he's gonna make a lot of noise to see if he maybe can draw their attention.
Yeah, you just can't really make it. It's about 40 feet to get to the other group. So.
Okay, so he's gonna get as close as he can.
All right, you rush up to Low with her dog right next to her. Speaking. All right, next up, let's go with Eloda.
All right. Going for the humanoid again with my longsword.
A little bit Jersey there.
My longsword, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That long sword.
My longsword. Nat 20, baby.
Oh hell yeah! Get it with that long sword, baby.
So, I get to roll.
2 dice.
I get to roll 3 dice for damage because I have orcish fear. I have a half orc.
Oh
Oh.
hell yeah! You know how close I went to going with a New Jersey accent for this character?
Let me double check that because I feel like I read that, but you know, I don't want to.
I know orcs have the orcish resilience. I don't know about
Savage attacks, and you score a critical hit.
Oh,
one
you
of the
took
dice
sav-
deals 5 extra damage.
You took savage attack. How did you? Hold on.
If you're a half orc, you get that.
Yeah, it's just a racial trait.
I thought savage attack was a feat.
No,
It's something you can
that's just
take.
racial traits.
Ah,
I have feats, which is Orcish Fury, which is another thing.
even more things. So many things. I don't know what's going on.
So it's 14 and 17 damage.
All right.
I know that's overkill, but you know.
Yeah, you wind up with your sword. It just kind of like, you feel the blood pumping, and it just kind of drives this adrenaline, like this deep orcish sense of combat inside of you, and you just swing violently towards it, and just straight through the staff, straight through the trunk that's holding its body together, and just slice the thing right down the middle. And you see the top of it tumble and spin through the air, landing off a few feet in the distance as it just kind of collapses on the ground. Yeah, it's dead.
Dead.
Oh, hell yeah.
Alright. Back to the 2 dogs that remain. 2 dogs versus 4 people, it's fine. They can pull through. Alright, well, simple enough. One of them's going to try and attack Eloda. And that is a 13 to hit.
It just hits.
Just hits, alright. It's terrified that you just slice that thing in half, but it is making an effort. And you're going to take 5 piercing damage as it kind of rushes forward as you're catching yourself off the back swing and sinks its teeth directly kind of right above your knee into your thigh. And you have to, there's a moment where it's holding on tight and you have to kind of fight with it, shake it off of your leg. And Lo is going, you stab this dog and it is not happy about you. So.
I get it.
But it is apparently very confused at the fact that it doesn't have wounds, and it's very confused. So that's a 6 to hit.
That you'll be surprised to learn that misses Shane.
Wow! Incredible! Dog jumps forward. You just kind of like, it lunges for your leg, and you just take a step back and just kind of kick it backwards. Not like hard, but just giving it a push and just kind of throw it back so it has to catch itself. Alright. Since it's just attempted to bite you, what would you like to do, Lo?
Oh, I'm so tempted to become friends with this dog. But, like, I'm not good at making friends with dogs. So, can I move so that I'm in a flanking position with Garen?
I'd say yeah, probably because he's come up and engaged in the fight.
So, advantage.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, they shit for advantage. That's a 18.
An 18 hits, and you do get sneak attack.
Nothing for 11 points of damage for the first hit.
Alright.
And then with my offhand bonus action, that's a like 20 something to hit.
Surprisingly, that also hits.
And that's just 4 points of damage.
4 points of damage, alright. So you slice into this dog twice over with these spectral blue daggers. And just and it kind of catches itself and stumbles every time it gets hit. Its limbs giving way as if they were cut, but it just kind of keeps looking at its arms and just seeing no wounds. It's very concerned and very confused.
Now I feel so bad.
Alright.
It's my turn.
Yep. Alright, Ayana, that is your turn now.
Okay, so I am still. I didn't let go of Eloda at all. At least I don't think I did. I think the whole time I was hanging on to her.
You've been thrown around a
Um,
little bit because Aloda's just kind of muscling through these creatures.
You're just holding on to her skirt like your mom, who you're afraid of that she's gonna walk too fast.
Yeah. Like half like standing up and half like kind of like hanging onto her. It's fine. I'm gonna go and cast Cure Wounds again.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I hate it when D&D Beyond sets back away from what you were just looking at. Okay, I'm gonna cast that again. Oh, yeah, you are the right one. Oh, ooh. The 7, okay. Plus 10. No. Yeah, math is correct. Okay, 10.
Wow. Math.
Wow, math.
All right. You
Damn.
get 10 hit points back as this warm energy, almost like the feeling of being in sunlight, kind of courses through you.
Aw.
And then bonus action, I'm gonna whack a dog.
All right. Roll for
What's
attack.
The spiritual weapon. I'm sad. Oh, shit. Okay. Whoa. Okay, that's a 24.
Yeah.
To hit.
You're very, very close to missing, but yeah, you did in fact hit.
Or you look away. I'm gonna hit a dog. I'm sorry.
Just barely.
Just barely.
It definitely wasn't 11 over its AC.
I rolled it and I went to go and look at it, and then it slipped out of my hands. I have no clue what that was. Should I roll again?
Yeah, just roll again.
I'm sorry.
No, you get a 1.
These nails are. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. These nails are a danger.
Okay.
That's a 7.
7 total?
Yeah.
All right. 7 damage is this. The dog's kind of backing up after being thrown off a Loda, and the maul just comes down, slamming into the side of its hindquarters, kind of just knocking its hips aside and causing it to roll on the ground and have to right itself. All right. Violence. Violence begets violence, children. Speaking of violence, the most violent one in this party, probably, let's talk about Garen.
So how are the dogs looking?
Absolutely shit.
Both of them are. So he's probably just going to attack whatever nearest one is.
Okay, there's the one right next to you and Low. You are currently flanking with Low, so you get advantage.
What's that?
I did nat 20.
All right. Roll your double your or roll what 2d8 I think it is.
Yeah,
Whatever the
2d8.
mace damage is.
That's an 8, and that's a 7 plus 5.
That's almost all of its hit points right out the gate. It only had 3 left, but
Well, it's super dead.
it is
Overkill.
that you have overkilled this creature. So you kind of, as it's backing up and kind of trying to flank or avoid Low from stabbing it again, you just come up from behind it and just slam your mace down right on top of its back and just crushes through its rib cage, and it just flops onto the ground as you have to kind of like wedge your mace out of it because it's just thoroughly embedded in the bones and viscera of this creature.
And then he's just going to face the next dog, his next victim.
Thankfully, it's about 20 feet away, so you can't just insta-murk it.
No.
All right.
But he is gonna move to it.
Okay. And you can get up right next to it. Don't really have much else to do on your turn, but you can get up there. All right, Eloda.
Longsword that dog.
Stab, stab.
16.
Yeah, 16 hits.
Do I want to do that now? How bad does this dog look?
Absolutely horrible.
All right, 6.
6 damage. All right. For funsies, how do you want to do this?
All right, so dog. How tall is the dog when it's standing on board?
Probably like 3 feet.
All right, we're just coming forward from that last one. You know that great sword fighting move. Then this whomp straight down.
All right.
And the hammer.
You Molinet your sword over top of your head and bring it immediately down straight on the creature, on this blink dog's head, and just split it straight down the middle. And you just hear the crack of bones as the head just gets bisected. And you see its kind of internal organs of this weird green and purple and red colors. And the creature's head just kind of flops to the side and it collapses under its own weight.
I'm sorry it had to be like this.
Alright.
Are Liza and Damien still with us?
Yes, they are currently, as you look back now that everything's calmed down a bit, they are just sitting kind of pressed up against the hedges trying to not get involved in this.
How's Ayana looking? Not good. Garen's going to quickly move to Ayana, and he's
You
gonna
find her on, like, mostly on the ground, sitting behind Alona, still holding on her skirt.
he's gonna bend down and put his hands on her, and it's like, "You did good, kid." And lay on hands however much Ayana needs.
How much do you want to give her?
I was gonna say, I think I don't know if you can heal all the damage.
I mean, I have up to 15. So if you need 15 hit points, then I'll do 15 hit points.
My max is 21. I'm at 11 right now.
Okay, so 10.
So that's 10. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
How's that marionette looking?
As you kind of catch your bearings, looking back at the siblings and looking towards the marionette, you just see its hands start turning.
Can I catch it?
Yep, and you walk forward and just a small brass doorknob just lands in your hand.
Guess we have a key, or at least the start of a key. Does the doorknob look like it has a keyhole?
No, it is just a solid brass doorknob.
We just got the key.
Yeah, it did. I see.
Let's deep breath. Why don't we go to the door now? Everyone okay?
I'm okay now. Do you need me to heal you anymore else? Do you want me to heal you anymore else?
I think I can be okay for now.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah. Garen's gonna give himself the remaining, unless Lo is looking damaged.
If you were to quantify how Lo is doing, she is at 17 out of 24 well-being points. Which means she's fine. She doesn't care.
Okay.
She looks like she's more mad about her coat than anything else.
don't have many. How is Garen doing?
He's at to quantify 23 of 35, so he's still pretty good. I think Lo and him are about the same.
My palpable
You're at
agitation.
yeah.
Yeah, he's just like
Um,
he's hyped right now. Like he's on adrenaline rush. Like, oh, there's not more things to kill. Like,
I feel bad killing dogs. I don't.
So it's
You
worth
actually
noting
make
as you guys collect yourselves, the dogs have seemingly kind of just slowly crumpled into a little blue and purple dust that just blows away into the wind.
That's like almost sadder.
I do not think they were real dogs, and besides, they were trying to kill us.
Have you ever heard this song by Bob Dylan called "The Answer Is Blowing in the Wind"? Because it comes to mind right now.
The great bard Bob Dylan.
Oh gosh.
There's like a dash in there unnecessarily after the O and Bob.
Yeah.
Bob.
Bob.
Devon.
Shall we be off?
Yes, let's go.
Hopefully we can get out of this maze.
How would you like to exit? Given there are no visible exits from this space.
The way we entered.
Find the flower.
Someone
Run through the hedge.
make me an intelligence check to see if you can figure out what spot you guys ran through.
Who's feeling smart today?
I'm feeling smart today.
I rolled 10. I am
Garen,
so smart.
Garen runs straight into a hedge, and you just hear as he hits a heavy piece of wood.
I'm feeling pretty good. Do you want me to try to figure it out? I am, I think, a psychic now.
Oh,
So.
go for it.
Oh,
Can I
that's
also
not
try?
That's a 13.
13. It's not that hard, especially given that the siblings are still there.
Okay.
I was hoping you
Is
would
there a
roll
flower
higher
by
than a
them?
10. You can actually see is a small now Lo points it out, there's a small trail of silver lace kind of sticking out a little bit, not all the way through the whole space, but there's just a few sticking out of the hedge.
It's nice that she's with us.
Alright, so you all, having now found your initial entrance point, make your way through the hedge, rushing through and coming out the other side. And you follow the trail of silver lace back out of the maze and up towards the inner courtyard. And that is where we will end for the evening.
Oh.
So, thank you all for coming. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. Hope you had fun with this little Fey mystery that's just a lot of nonsense.
Yes, and thanks for the raid, especially. That's awesome. Table troop. We'll definitely have to come check you out.
Yeah.
Hello.
Do we have any friends
Yeah.
online to raid ourselves? Since
There's looks like the same people that we raided yesterday are on.
Okay, let me pull up my own Twitch so I can actually remember what the hell their username is.
Oh, Wheeler, same. I am so hyped for Dungeon Ball tomorrow. Although my character is not. Oh boy. They are never excited for anything.
Yes. So tomorrow, for those that are here that are new to our stream, we have several shows a week. We have Dungeon Brawl tomorrow, which is an every other Saturday thing. Shane will be running that. On Sundays, we have Back in Stylus, which is kind of a chill art stream. So if you want to come hang out and watch some art. Tuesdays we have spacing on the name because
The
ADHD.
Mines game.
The Mines game, which is kind of funny. The Mines is not
Run
working.
by Wheeler Extraordinaire.
Or Triforce of Courage in chat. Then Thursday there is a mini paint and chill, which is Wheeler and Chris.
Which is
and then-
every other Thursday, but it is happening this Thursday.
Yes, and then Fridays are going to be this game, which is the Over the Kailjaw Peaks, and coming soon to a theater near you will be a Wednesday campaign as well. So we were pretty packed. So definitely stop by, come hang out, chill, tell your friends, follow us on the social medias, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, retweet.
Are we YouTubers now?
I don't know. I'm just going through all the social media stuff because why not?
No, YouTube's lame. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Twitch only, bro.
I mean, we do have a YouTube, and we also have an Instagram.
Yes.
So yeah, if you miss a show, we post everything on YouTube,
All right.
which we probably should put on our social thing. We have a TikTok, a YouTube, an Insta, a Twitter. All right.
Tiki-taka.
And with all that fun announcement and stuff like that, thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it. We will see you next week, and stick around for us rating another Dungeons and Dragons stream. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye, bye, bye.